Thank you so very much. So our next speaker is Devlin Gannon. Devlin was born in High River, considers himself to have come early to his awareness of government corruption and control from his high school days of challenging indoctrination in the school system. The mandates that have been implemented in the past almost 2 years have solidified his conviction of control. His goal now is to share his story and spread a positive message, even surrounded by so much negativity. So put your hands together for Devlin Gannon.
Yeah, I'm good. Thank you. Hello, everybody. Am I loud enough? Is this good? All right. So, it's always a great experience coming to a rally like this, whether it's here in Okotoks or in Calgary every Saturday, downtown, or in Inglewood every Thursday, supporting Without Papers Pizza and their owner, Jesse, who, exactly, there he is, right there. Give the man a hand. He's at every one of these rallies as well. He's a man who stood against this division and segregation being pushed by our government, trying to make him do their dirty work and decide to tell his fellow human that they can't come into his restaurant. He said no to that and he lost his business, but I'll stand beside him every chance I get, because that's a man that I believe stands for what we all stand here for today. So, our government, social media, the news, they all feed off negativity. They make money off of it. It's a very sad thing. They push division in every way they can. Whether it's male, female, left, right, black or white, Calgary Flames or Edmonton Oilers. Whatever it is, they push distractions and division on all of humanity. And a lot of us can see past it. We can enjoy watching a hockey game. We can enjoy watching a movie and pick out all the propaganda and things they're trying to push on us and not have it affect us. But let me tell you a story about division in a time when unity should have been the only thing that occurred. So 2 weeks ago I lost my grandfather. And my family's mourned, I've been sad, I've been regretful, but I've turned it into focus because I know that that's what my grandpa would have wanted. He stood at these rallies for the whole 2 years before I even came down, telling me to get my butt down there and stand for what he knew was right. He rode his Harley Davidson down there and he shined his bright fire for freedom like all of us shine it every time that we stand together. And he was a man who was very intelligent. He worked for SAIT for over 20 years as a communication director and set up institutions and schools all around the world. He was very well thought and he was a critical thinker. Everything that he ever thought about, he would formulate his own opinion. So I'll summarize. My grandpa caught COVID. I texted him all the time beforehand, so when he got sick, I continued talking with him. And he would tell me all of his symptoms: headache, body ache, sore muscles. He's tired all the time, and his biggest complaint was his skin was irritated. But he told me, I'm so surprised I don't have respiratory issues. I don't have a cough. My sore throat is non-existent. I'm just tired and have sore muscles and headaches. Talked to him all the time and continued sending me YouTube links and commenting on videos I make from our rallies, and it was normal. And then I find out that one day he was brought to the hospital from my step-grandmother, his second wife, who's 3 times vaccinated, to my grandfather's 0 vaccines. She was concerned he was sleeping too much, he was losing too much weight. So she brought him to the Foothills emergency room. And within 48 hours he was intubated and comatose, and that was it. I knew the moment he was dropped off that I likely was not going to see my grandpa again. And his last blood oxygen level was 93% before they intubated him. So if you know anything about intubation, the only reason that you get intubated is to increase your blood oxygen level if your lungs can't do it. 93% is your average senior citizen or person of age walking around living their daily life. It is no need for intubation. Absolutely. So he's intubated, he's comatose. if you're not vaccinated, you don't get to go to the ICU and visit anybody. And my grandmother, who again, 3 times vaccinated, has all of the say as to what happens with my grandpa and tells the doctors to do whatever they want. And she's convinced that the parts of my family which are slim, that are not vaccinated, have convinced my grandpa to be anti-vaccine and made him crazy anti-vaxxer, even though, like I said, he was telling me to come to these rallies before I was ever there. And I don't know about you, but is anybody here an anti-vaxxer? Or are you a freedom lover? Because, exactly. So, she tells the hospital, this is where division starts to take hold. Nobody that is, she tells the hospital, my family who aren't vaccinated can't even call and ask questions. Can't even ask what's happening with my grandpa. So my mother, his firstborn child, isn't even allowed to call and ask what's happening to her father. And the hospital happily obliged to that for sure. So let's go forward. What happened with him? The only thing that we knew, because we couldn't get information, was he was on remdesivir from the moment he was in the hospital. Which, if you don't know what remdesivir is, it's an experimental emergency use authorization drug that is only used for this pandemic to pump money into Big Pharma's pocket. $1,200 to $3,200 a dose for remdesivir, compared to the pennies on a dollar for the cheap and effective alternative measures that people should be using but can't get access to. So, what does remdesivir do? Negative things only, mainly kidney failure. Within 2 weeks, both his kidneys are failing, he's on full dialysis, still intubated and comatose. 2 weeks later, he has a stroke and he passes away. So they took a perfectly healthy man with nothing but a bad cold, they took his consciousness, they took his kidneys, and then they took his life in less than a month. So exactly, I've told this to multiple people and I'll continue to say this. If someone asked me how my grandpa died, he was murdered by a gang of criminals. And they are operating under a larger global criminal agenda run by the World Health Organization and the United Nations. We are not running our own health policy in Canada. We don't have any control over what happens here, and the puppets that try and act like they do have control are just that, puppets. So, long personal story, I don't want to make this about myself, but I want to leave you guys with something to remember. So, let me just leave you with this. Negativity and hate are very powerful emotions. They're something, like I said, that the government and the social media companies and the mainstream, lamestream corporate media feed off of and make money off of. And the people who are easily influenced, they'll lean into negativity and hate very easily. It's pushed on them in every way, and it's a powerful emotion. It's easier to get mad, get angry, and have an instant reaction to something than to show love, to nurture something, and to wait for the positive result to come from that. People want, right now, action, and that is getting angry and erupting on something instead of thinking positively and showing love and compassion. So, thank you. The only thing I can say is, going forward, all of us here, we need to be united for freedom, and that is it. We cannot hate the people who show you the middle finger at a rally like this, or get mad at you for not being jabbed or not wearing your mask. We are going to be different. We accept any and all. That 3 times vax person who has vaccine injury and is now scared and doesn't know what's going on, we open our arms and we accept them in. You walk past a restaurant that doesn't let you in, but we'll let anybody from that restaurant come and march with us. So that's all I'm gonna say. This is a battle of light and dark, and in the absence of evil, only good things will replace that. So in this marathon that we're in right now, at the end is a giant fire for freedom unlike anything humanity's ever seen. And that fire will be bright enough to make darkness never be able to prevail. So just keep fighting, everybody. Thank you.